Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8 and Third Reich events. Okay, back after a few days of modding, getting TRE ready for Black Ice 8.5.2. They had a few bugs with 8.51, so they got 8.52 out quick, which is good. Now you'll be hearing this a few days later. But so, let's get back. I really enjoy the modding, especially the research elements. I do a lot more research than I do coding time, if you will. And that's fascinating for me to do. I will keep the amphibious unit training going. Oh. I also fixed and fired again so that... Okay. Oh, okay, where are we? So I paid for it again, but oh well. Okay, they'll get there in time, I guess, to defend against this attack. The U.S. has entered the fray in Peru now, but the SS Free-Willing Panzer Grenadier Division, Legion St. George. This is what it was intended to be, a Panzer Grenadier Regiment, self-propelled artillery, Stug. Abteilung. I've looked at some of the names of the OOBs that they were. It's a combination of sometimes they're using Stug Abteilung and equipped with other things, but also Black Ice does not have an SS Stug battalion. At least I don't think they do. Maybe they do in a newer version, but and then motorcycle reconnaissance, half-track transport, and your divisional headquarters. What I'm seeing now is, with playing with this, they've made the river crossing penalties really serious if you don't have an engineer battalion. So I think on the next version I'm going to try to add. And I like the richness of Black Ice. With the new transport types here, I don't know if there's a good reason to have an engineering battalion and a motorized engineering battalion and an armored engineering battalion. I understand the difference between an armored engineering unit and a regular engineering unit. I just always thought make these fast enough that if you stick them with a motorized unit, they don't slow it down, but they don't speed up a unmotorized unit. And when you're using the new transport units, if you will, I guess, because they're sort of oddball things, to determine how fast some of the support elements go, whether the towed artillery, because this is now as it, it still sort of has a motorized symbol there, but it's a, here they're running it as a Schwer heavy artillery, but really it's maybe more of a medium artillery. There's not a SS heavy artillery to my understanding. What determines its movement speed is what type of things are towing it. Is it wagons? Is it trucks? Is it mechanized. Not that mechanized, I don't think should go faster than trucks, but maybe should go faster than trucks in certain terrains, more rugged terrains, if you will, and also do better in some weather conditions potentially, depending on how you can code some of that. So, because they've now added motorized engineers, and I know from you as a player's perspective that may be no big thing, but for me, since this was supposed to be a motorized division, I'm going to have to go in and change this, and just like I had the last problem, so just every time they do these things, I have to go in and change my OOBs, or they come out funky, like you saw in the last episode, and it's just a little frustrating. That's all I know. It's the life of a submodder, but and yes, I want to have a good product for everybody, both in the sense I want to have a good mod of my own, and I also want to have players have a good, rich black ice experience. Okay, we'll let these go for the moment. So we have an American. We're really gonna... It's always interesting to see how the AI deals with different things. Maybe they were here? Already guarding there? How and why they show up where they do. You know, we're sort of kind of losing this, but I'm hoping that that gets there soon. So when is it expected? August 22nd. So in 3 days. Now we're out of supplies. Well, let's go. Where is that? That is Eureka? Whatever. Let's see, I want it to come out of La Rochelle. Hopefully go around. There it is. Around. What, didn't that work? Oh, I hit the wrong thing. I thought that's where I was. Oh. Would help if I was clicked on the right thing. Yes. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. And I wanted to come through here. I think that's my most protected route. Deal with the supply potential problems there. Help deal with them. No guarantees, but ooh, Uruguay wants to give me transit rights. Okay, we'll take those. No. Oh, the British have won. Damn. How did the British win that? I don't know. Okay, Cusco. Oh, good. Well. Okay, that's doing better now. There we go. Now, since they're beat up, fine. But let's See if we can take on you. Naval strike tactics. Oh, we're gonna let those go as well. Alright. Now miss. Okay, that's pretty good. Bonuses. Looks like we're gonna win here too. This is starting to seem like some of my EU campaigns, taking on the driving. Well, sometimes it's the Incas and the Aztecs in this part of the world, and sometimes it's driving out to Spanish or somebody else. Okay. Coming through these parts of the world. Oh, I know it's sent over. Okay, they're not here yet. Okay, and we're going to keep on. How are we doing out here? Florida Straits. Is that our... Oh, Cape Breton. Our light forces have got another heavy cruiser. And they're bombing another heavy cruiser. I think the one out in the Florida Straits was my... Yes, my escorted mechanized force. I'm glad I escorted it. I'll go back and pick these guys up. I want to hit Mexico with a... load you up, I guess. A big enough force. And I also sent my fighter power back home because air base unable to effectively repair and maintain the operations out here. Okay, let's see here. Japanese have invaded again. So, let's see, what can we do here? I think that's my best thing. Well, best invasion force is. Okay, rebase it to here. Now, made a mistake before. Putting all my submarines in this area, mainly trying to stop supplies coming from excuse me, the from Australia to the islands here. But I gather their air power was just sinking because I wasn't getting notified. You don't, at least my current settings don't have me notified for air attacks. So I lost a bunch of submarines that way. So what I figured I should do now is put them out here. Okay, that's too far away. Well, I'm over here in base. Is try to cut them off from the US supplies further out. Here outside of there. air operations range, and as we can see, we've sunk 2 and we've sunk 1 there in the last week. And so trying to cut these guys off from supplies. How much of this are we seeing? Are we seeing into? No. And I don't want to just drop air power or airborne forces in there. Well, good. I'm really glad when I see the AI do some smart moves. Like counter invade in a new place and take a port like that. Okay. Desert unit training advance. How are we doing with that? We'll go right there. Command and control. Small air search radar. Small navigation radar. Switch. Uh-oh. Poland uprised. Uprising, okay. Let's send in the essay. They're there for anyways. We hardly have anything left back here of any sort of fighting capability. It would help to have a leader in here. Let's find a supply. To help reduce the supply use. There we are. Yeah, I know of Weber. I don't know who he is. Cool. Okay, we've won here, so hill's perfect for the tanks. Yes, sure. Japan! Yes, you may have some supplies, Japan. Ooh, we battled Mexico. Okay, now. What island do I want to put you on? These are too good. Okay. Transport tropical garrison to Puerto Rico. Okay, command control. Okay, probably advanced enough. And aircraft prototype evaluation. Ah, yes. No, that's this one. Just wish they didn't have all those red. If there were no negative consequences, I'd be happy to, and I just, not that I, just because, okay, here's my problem. Not that I'm saying they're wrong in doing this, but so I don't know how much adding ammunition capacity. Obviously, the more weight, the slower the aircraft goes, but maybe it's a little arbitrary. But I don't have a conceptual problem with that. I just sort of have a if you will, a choice problem here. Is okay, well, these, Stuka, some of these stuff, but 25 minus 25 in speed, then I come over here and do this, and then the Stuka is minus 50 in speed, so now we're minus 100 in speed, and range minus 50 kilometers, minus 25 kilometers, minus 50 kilometers. So we're now talking 125 kilometers less, and reducing the speed by about 100 kilometers. And so I'm just sort of kind of worried that if I do too many of these things, even though they have bonuses, are we sticking too many negatives for the bonuses? I guess that's sort of where I'm at. Where here, hey, it's just going to increase speed, so that isn't a problem. Now, big jet engines, I can see increasing fuel usage. That's a different matter, or creation, or increasing ammo would increase supply usage or something like that. Just because pilots with more ammo are going to shoot more often, just human habit, even if they don't need to. Just because they think they might need to. And so when, they're going to use up more supplies or something like that, I can readily see. So just some of these things I just worry about stacking too many on and making some good choices, but some bad choices, if you will. Just my thoughts on why I have trouble with some of those. Little less trouble on the production line. Again, I think some of the increases are a bit arbitrary, but no, we got a command range again. These command zones. Okay, well, set up that. Let's send you east. Let's send you here, command zone. I'll pause. Like I was saying, some of the production cost increase are maybe a bit arbitrary. Uh-oh, now this is turned over to American territory. Okay. Strategically redeployed. Don't know why yet. Guess it can't be Polish. I don't know. Fortunately, there's no air bases, so the U.S. won't be showing up with any air power. And Saudi Arabia, yes, you can have a few supplies. You're moving way too slow. And the reason you're moving so slow is because you don't have any transport units. That's the way I see these. If you want to, we've created enough NSKK, because they did have motor storm units, but those basically all, to the best of my understanding, converted to the NSKK. So we do have some NSKK units you could attach if you want to motorize your SA brigades. But really, I look at the SA as, very few full-time personnel, a lot of part-time personnel because they're doing one form of war work or another as well at this time, and they're, based in whatever city or other location they're based in. So getting around, they get on trains and go, and then they don't have any other rapid strategic. Not that they wouldn't have a few passenger cars, a few things, but to move the full and complete units, they need some other transportation. So that's, I think, quite realistic. Okay, Nazca. Maybe they'll drive around and mess up the Nazca lines. Very, very dry desert. Keep moving forward. Monsoon's in the full swing. Okay, oh, and that reminded me. Too well there. Let's see, what do we have here? Ooh, nice mechanized. Okay. We've got a lot of forces. Do I not have any better transports? I guess I don't in this region. Well, you know, I think we need to fall back to here. I want to pick up that Marine Corps that we have here. Thought I had some more out here. Well, what do I have back here? I know I've been dropping most of the stuff to do my transatlantic. Oh, good. Oh, good. Good, 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 good. As you can see, I've been building a few destroyers. I think all of them are going to just now become escorts for all of these landing craft. You don't want to use the motor torpedo boats really if you can help it because of their very short range, as well as torpedo boats. Destroyers should have reasonably good ranges. There, so attach them to there and send them out here, get them out into the theater. But yeah, we're going to pick up that Marine Corps of troops and see about coming in Port Moresby from the south here. Help Japan from that angle. More into supplies. How are my fighters doing? Over now. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, mechanized. Well, great. No, thank you at the moment. Mechanized for HQs. 4 HQs. Not back yet. Okay. There. So. Let's rebase here. want to pull those airborne troops off. You haven't built any. Oh no, these are ground troops. Well, pull them off anyways. Alright, that's good. No need at this time. Attack the convoys. Look for subs. Maybe a little too far field. I'm away from Florida there. A little bit more, okay. There we go, we want them to go after all those convoys coming through here. Or, I mean, not go after them, but protect them from the US going after them. Okay, well now that you're attacking there, let's counterattack. Unless they're planning on doing the opposite, waiting. Agriculture. Since we are at war, the supply of food is okay. Lose 500 money, gain supplies and 100 manpower. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll expand the farm industry, which basically more tractors. Very useful. Tractors can't do everything that men can do, but they can certainly increase a fair amount of the production capabilities. Did we get over here yet? No, not yet. Invasion. Better invasion force capabilities. I want to make sure when I get into Mexico I can feed in the troops. Fortunately, we're already getting into September again. It's late. I mean, I'm not going to delay it through winter, of course, because you don't need to down here. Shouldn't need to, at least. No, you need to rest up. In fact, we'll send you all the way back here to make sure you get well. I'm thinking now. Yeah, I think it needs reinforcements. I also want to hit Florida as well. Okay. I think what we need to do here is send these guys back to here. Get another force. Uh-oh. Wow. We really needed that air power. Let's secure the port there. Keep thinking I can do it without the air power. I might have some. They've sent them back because they got beaten up, I think. Maybe destroyed, but I thought maybe I sent them back. Because I know I sent some units back. Forget which. The bombers are there. Yes, and yes. Okay. Now, came up as a topic on the Black Ice Forum. So I'll bring it up here. I like to, as you well know, to put a twin-engine fighter, particularly with my bomber, medium and light bombers, and my naval bombers. Oh my God, doesn't like this strategy, and I'm not going to dispute his analysis of the actual stats, because I think he does a better job at looking into the details of that than I do. But I also know he likes to micromanage his air power a little bit more. And he's worried about stacking penalties with instead of having all bombers. Don't know what he would say to this thing of having one fighter bomber escorting a couple of close air support units there. And he very much thinks, now these are with light bombers, thinks that it's better to have regular fighters come in and intercept and destroy the enemy air fighters. And I agree in very much in principle in that it's better to destroy the enemy air than tolerate it. I just combination of don't know that it's something that I want to try to micromanage. I also believe, now this is a belief and not necessarily a fact, that by having this here and then if I'm keeping the operation, then have, as you probably saw quite often on the Soviet invasion, is interceptors would then enter the fight as well. You know, the regular fighters coming in and intercepting battle. But until they got there, I do believe the twin-engine fighters helped keep the bombers from being too heavily damaged at that point. Now, he does believe that the twin-engine fighters are, and I agree, are very good as night fighters. And well, and his point was is just to, if you're still facing some levels of interception, just turn all your bombing operations into night bombing operations. And then use the twin engine fighters, and this was particularly he was talking about for long range stuff, because that's one of the reasons I like to put these here, is because sometimes we're operating outside of fighter range, is just operate at night and then have twin engine fighters in a separate stack doing interceptions at night with their night fighting bonuses, because they become the best fighters at night, better than regular fighters. So that's his views. I think his views are very good, probably better than mine, but because I don't really want to micromanage my air that much, just, it's why I do War Thunder ground forces, because I like driving tanks. I'm not such, wanting to do the air combat. It's not my favorite thing. So take that for what you will. If you like my idea of close escort, either as a historical reality, because obviously they did close escort, or simply as a convenience, he's right on the idea. Also, is if you're and I don't know how the stacking works for something like this, but I'm not putting a huge stack of bombers on one target, so having 2 bombing units and a twin engine fighter, I don't believe that will cause stacking problems. It's when you're doing 6, 8, or whatever the numbers get to. Okay, now we're going to undo here. What do the numbers get to on different stacking limitations? Okay, we'll go here now. Like I say, I do want to have an effective invasion force to rapidly get in, but I also don't want to overstress these ports, because they're going to be limited supply. So I think that will be enough for that corps. And we've yet to see the main fleet come in. I want to pick up, I think, maybe this. That looks like it'd be a good invasion force for Florida, along with some of the stuff already in the theater. Because we've got to look at Florida as well. Okay. Well, okay, folks. I've never been to Florida. Quite honestly, like I say, I've never been to Florida. I've been around these parts of the USA. Obviously, I live way over here, so it's like living over here and not getting to Romania very often. So people in Europe realize there's I've been around different parts of the U.S., mostly the western region here, and Virginia, the capital. Spent a day wandering around. Well, where would that be here? Yes, what they're calling Alexandria. Wandering around the battlefield of Manassas, or Bull Run, in my life. I mean, literally a full day walking around with some maps and studying the battle and looking at the actual terrain, because it's still more or less the trees, clumps of forests have changed, but the terrain itself is the same from the first Bull Run or Battle of Manassas. I wargamed that a bunch of times, so when I had a chance doing some research in Washington D.C., spent a day out wandering around the battlefield there. And so, you know, I've been there, been to New York, been to Boston. Now it's been a long time since I've been to New York and Boston. And I was down in Fort Sumter down here. Yeah, Charleston here. Way back when. So I've been around, but yeah, it was also a long time ago. I don't know if this would in 1940s constitute an urban zone. Miami. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Especially if Charleston doesn't. Miami really hadn't picked up big. I mean, I don't dispute that picture, but that isn't that much of an urban zone. And I was thinking I was going to be moving in some of my sort of cool Jaeger divisions here, because I was expecting swamps like here. There's a bunch of this territory out here is swamps. This is why people didn't go down there back then, because folks in the 1940s and before, nobody wanted to go to Florida. You couldn't even hardly give the land away down there. It was near worthless. It was awful. Part of the problem was the mosquitoes and malaria. But the real problem was sort of the heat. It was awful. This was before air conditioning. So no, you know, the population of Florida, like in the Civil War, was all up in here. It was almost nothing down here. They finally built a railway down here, and what became popular, which was down here in Miami, and which did sort of spawn it, is all the people from up here, the rich people up here, when it got winter, they would ride down here on trains, and the very rich people, the Morgans and the Astors and whatever, would have either their own full train or their own train car, and you know, just for traveling. And then of course they would move into their mansions that were in, you know, along the regions of Miami, like Mar-a-Lago, which Trump has sort of made famous again, which I forget who built that, but that's a, you know, big famous house and whatever. So all these rich people built their sort of mansions and palaces down here, and it was just for the winter when this wasn't so bad, and this was of course winter, so they wanted out of that. Now of course with air conditioning, and this gets a bit hot, you can stay inside and be in nice weather. So it's changed a lot, this part of, and there was no because this really probably should be a lot more swampy, because they do a little bit of cattle ranching in this part of the world, but there's no farms. There is no open countryside to do agriculture in. That's why this forested area here was much more developed in the north of Florida. And you can do a lot of agriculture here, because this, you know, this can be equally as, well, I don't know if equally, but, well, yeah, equally as miserable in the summer. But at least you have various agricultural reasons for people to live there. So there's a difference between just simply like a nice place to live, decent place to live, and a place that can, you know, is, you know, has no ability to manufacture, or, you know, to grow food and whatever else. People just don't move to, you know, awful places like that. So, you know, they move here because there's all kinds of agriculture that can be done. So, just looking here. So I guess, you know, because we still need some of these cool units for the jungles. and mountains and swamps in here, but I thought we were going to be just, my impression was that some of this would be swamps. Again, because my understanding from about here south, there's literally nothing, no natural, and I may be mistaken, it may be 24 feet, but I think it's like there's no natural land feature 12 feet above sea level down here. You may find that incredible, but it's something like that, that this is just all a completely sort of flat, nothing, like I say, no natural hills above something like 12 feet down in this part of the world. So it's just a, big flat sort of, parts of it I don't doubt are dry. I don't doubt it, but I'm just looking at, Tampa or Orlando as being and Daytona as just being enough percentage of swamps that you would call it more swampy than you would call it plains territory. Again, I'm sure that there's plenty of relatively dry places that you can drive tanks or trucks or whatever through, but I just think combat effectiveness, it would be much more swampy than what's portrayed here. Okay, well, I think we're going to end this episode here. Thanks so much for watching. We're going to continue our action as we go forth. See you next time.